Good morning, students. How are you? I think all are good during this lockdown period and preparing your subject material through online mode. During this series, today we'll discuss about the capacity building of a teacher for inclusive education. This is a very important topic in inclusive education paper. Under that, we'll learn how we can develop capacity building of a teacher for an inclusive education. We know that inclusive education has been internationally recognized as a philosophy for attaining equity, justice, and quality education for all children, especially those who have been traditionally excluded from mainstream education for reason of disability, ethnicity, gender, or other characteristics. So by seeing this, we can say that while inclusive education has been implemented successfully in many countries, other countries are still in the process of achieving this goal. जैसा आप जानते हैं कि इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन पूरे सभी देशों में लागू किया गया है, जिसके तहत सारे तरह के डिसेबल बच्चे सामान्य विद्यालय में वो पढ़ सकते हैं, लेकिन अभी भी हमारे देश में ये सक्सेस होने में काफ़ी देरी है, क्योंकि पेन एंड पेपर पे बहुत सारी बातें हैं, लेकिन धरातल पर अभी भी हमारा समावेशी शिक्षा के अंतर्गत बहुत कार्य करने की आवश्यकता है. If we'll see this according to Gifford Lindsay in 2007, he said that inclusive education mainstreaming is the key policy objective for education of children and young people with disability. So, the another in a Booth and Enskau in 1998, he also emphasized increasing the participation of students in and reducing their exclusion from the culture, curricular, and communities of local schools. By seeing these two important definitions, we can say that the Salamanca Statement and Framework for Action on Special Need Education 1994, adopted by the World Conference on Special Needs Education, paved the way for inclusive education. It upheld the aim of education for all by suggesting some foundational change in program and policies of the nation. हम लोग कार्य कर रहे हैं एजुकेशन फॉर ऑल पे, लेकिन अभी भी हम लोग इससे कोसों दूर हैं. The statement solicits government to give the highest priority to making education system inclusive and adopt the principle of inclusive education as a matter of law or policy. So, it emphasizes that every child has a basic right to education. सभी बच्चों को क्या है? Right to education, and every child has unique characteristics, interest, ability, and learning need. So, in this regard, how can we develop the capacity building of the teacher? समावेशी शिक्षा के अंतर्गत में आप किस प्रकार शिक्षकों में ये कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग कर पाएंगे? तो इसको समझने के लिए आपको देखना होगा पहले कि हमारे यहाँ पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटी एंड देयर एजुकेशन, अगर आप देखें तो पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटी एंड देयर एजुकेशन, वी विल सी द पार्ट that is the person with disability from the world largest minority group, around 10% of total world population, or roughly 650 million people, live with some disability. जैसा आप जान रहे हैं कि लगभग 650 मिलियन पीपल हमारे यहाँ डिसेबिलिटी के फॉर्म में रहते हैं. And the situation is worse in so-called developing country who, according to UNDP, house 80% of person with disability. लगभग 80% disability है. There is a vicious circle or two-way link between disability and poverty. Poor people are more at risk at acquiring a disability because of lack of access to good nutrition, health care, sanitation, as well as safe living and working condition. इस तरह का आप जो देख रहे हैं समस्याएं, ये क्यों आए हैं? क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ जो पुअर पीपल है वो अभी भी हमारे पास एक समुचित खाना, आसानी आराम से रहना, सैनिटेशन की व्यवस्था, सेफ लिविंग की व्यवस्था बहुत कम है. So once this occur, they face barrier to education, employment and public service that pushes them further into poverty. So total disability population is 2.1% of total population. लगभग 2% हमारे के टोटल पॉपुलेशन के डिसेबिलिटी के संज्ञान में है. ये 2% बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, जिसके अंतर्गत वो सारे प्रकार के डिसेबिलिटी, विजुअल हो, हैंडीकैप हो, हियरिंग हो, वो सारे तरह के बच्चे आते हैं. So if you'll seeing this part, that is first one, person with disability and their education. Now the second one is need for inclusion in education. क्यों ये आवश्यकता पड़ी? तो according to UNESCO in 1994, regular school with an inclusive orientation are most effective in combating discriminating attitude, building an inclusive society and achieving education for all. So, research study have demonstrated the effectiveness of inclusion in education practice, the positive effect on the educational outcome of children with disability in inclusive setting, and the lack of any significant difference in the development of children with special need in the inclusive and special setting. So, we will see the foreword of UNICEF in 2003 focused on inclusive education in India. He said estimated that 70% of children with disability, including those with mild mental retarded, can attend regular school provided the environment is designed to be accessible and the institution is willing to accommodate them. लगभग 70% of the children, या आप कह सकते हैं जो डिसेबिलिटी रहते हैं, उसको आप इंक्लूड किया जा सकता है. ठीक है. So we will see the objective of capacity building in inclusive education. अगर ऑब्जेक्टिव देखें कि कौन कौन से ऐसे उद्देश्य हैं जिसके अंतर्गत कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग इन इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन के तहत में, तो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग ऑफ प्रोस्पेक्टिव एंड इन सर्विस टीचर के लिए पहला है टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट एंड फिलॉसफी बिहाइंड इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन. यह पहला आप देख रहे हैं स्लाइड में भी कि क्या करना है, टू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट, हमें उस कॉन्सेप्ट को समझना है, उस फिलॉसफी को समझना है जिसके तहत समावेशी शिक्षा की आवश्यकता पड़ी. दूसरा, टू मेक देम अंडरस्टैंड and committed towards the global and national commitment toward education of children with diverse need. दूसरा क्या देखना है, आपको ये बताना है कि ये समझना है और कमिटेड करना है टुवर्ड द किसका, हमारे देश के लिए, टुवर्ड एजुकेशन ऑफ चिल्ड्रन विद डाइवर्स नीड। इस तरह के बच्चे जो हैं उसकी किस प्रकार की शिक्षा हो पाएगी। And then to enable them in creating conducive and healthy teaching learning environment। केवल वैसे बच्चों को विद्यालय में नामांकन ही नहीं कराना है, वैसे बच्चों के लिए विद्यालय में एक हेल्दी वातावरण भी प्रोड्यूस करनी है, हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट भी प्रोड्यूस करना है। थर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव। The fourth one is to enable them to identify and utilize existing resources for promoting inclusive practice। और क्या करना है, उसको चिन्हित करना है, उसको उपयोग में लाना है वो सारे रिसोर्सेज को जो कि इंक्लूसिव प्रैक्टिस में उपयोग आएंगे। ये जो सारे हैं ये सारे आपके क्या हैं, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं। ऑब्जेक्टिव के ये सारे आते हैं। Then we'll see the part that is an essential component of capacity building in inclusive education। यहाँ जो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग में 3 एसेंशियल कंपोनेंट की बात यहाँ पर की जाएगी। और फर्स्ट एसेंशियल कंपोनेंट जो है वो निकल के आ रहा है, दैट इज एटीट्यूडनल चेंज एंड अवेयरनेस रेजिंग। एटीट्यूडनल चेंज एंड अवेयरनेस रेजिंग। इस कड़ी में आप समझिए कि फॉर इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन टू सक्सेस इट इज vitally important that teacher, principal and other educational stakeholder maintain a positive attitude towards inclusion। हमें अगर समावेशी शिक्षा में अगर बच्चों को समावेश करनी है तो सबसे पहले अपनी एटीट्यूड को चेंज करना होगा, शिक्षकों को, प्रिंसिपल को एवं वो सारे स्टेक होल्डर को। They must be firmly convinced of the benefit that inclusive practice brings to all children। Even if inclusive education is mandated by law, it will never succeed without the enthusiastic support of its practitioner। ठीक। Second one is pre-service training program। आप जैसा जानते हैं कि ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम 2 प्रकार के हैं, एक है प्री सर्विस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, एक है इन सर्विस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम। सो अंडर द प्री सर्विस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम वी विल सी इन ऑर्डर टू बिल्ड ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज इन द फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशन, ट्रेनिंग मस्ट बी डन बोथ एट द प्री सर्विस एंड इन सर्विस लेवल। So pre-service training refers to training individual before they become teacher। This includes training at teacher training colleges and universities at both the national and provincial level। So प्री-सर्विस ट्रेनिंग में आपको ये सिखाना है कि किस प्रकार से इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन के तहत वो सारे डिसेबल बच्चे को आप किस प्रकार समावेश कर सकते हैं। Then in-service training program, in the in-service training includes professional development of a teacher who are already working in the classroom। So in service का मतलब हुआ कि वैसे शिक्षक जो कार्यरत हैं वैसे शिक्षक का आप किस प्रकार इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन के कॉन्सेप्ट को सिखाएंगे, तो वैसे बच्चे को प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट के द्वारा आप वैसे शिक्षकों को आप ट्रेनिंग दे सकते हैं। So in-service training includes professional development for teacher who are already working in the classroom। In addition to developing the skill of professional before entering the workforce, it is essential that teacher are already teaching by provided skills and technique for inclusive education। In that, we can say that collaborative and participative technique not only enhance learning outcome but also reduce prejudice and discrimination among children। So these 3 important essential components for a capacity building of a teacher। Then if we'll see the component of inclusive teacher preparation program, if we'll see the component, here we will discuss regarding the component, three important components. The first component is collaborative technique. Under the collaborative technique concern the instructional approach used in the classroom. If we want to prepare teacher to teach collaboratively, we must utilize that model in our pre-service classes. There are a number of ways this can be accomplished. Teacher educator can co-teach classes. टीचर एजुकेशन चाहेंगे तो मिल के पढ़ा सकते हैं, कोलैबोरेटिव करके पढ़ा सकते हैं. Modeling for their student collaborative teaching skills. This can be done with general and special education faculty as well as with faculty from other, we can say that, discipline outside the education. So collaborative planning for classes and collaborative evaluation of students can also be used as a mean of demonstrating how such practices can be done effectively. Such approaches as collaborative learning, arrangement and activities require students to develop and practice group process skill can also be utilized in the classroom. So collaborative means मिलजुल कर पढ़ाना है विद्यार्थी को. Finally, college teachers should integrate curriculum objective as well as instructional activities across classes and discipline. The second component is techniques and strategy. So teachers who will be expected to teach in diverse settings must have the instructional tool to do so successfully. Several researchers have noted that lack of professional training in inclusive techniques and practices for general and special education teacher. There is a lacking. वहाँ पर कमियां हैं. किस प्रकार से आप टेक्निक को, स्ट्रैटेजी को डील करेंगे वैसे बच्चों के साथ, उसकी ट्रेनिंग की लैकिंग है. So, a tremendous amount of money is spent on in-service training to give teacher instructional skill to teach students with diverse need. These resources could be directed elsewhere if teacher could emerge from their pre-service training already possessing those skills. And the third one is collaborative experiences. The two previous components apply primarily to the classroom. This component related to the field-based experience of the prospective teacher. Some prior preparation can be given in the classroom through simulation and role-playing. But beyond that, the prospective teacher should be given the opportunity to observe and work in collaborative, inclusive situation. This required that the pre-service preparation include multiple opportunities for the prospective teacher to observe and work in actual classroom, where inclusive practice are being implemented. More than this, pre-service teachers should also participate in other activities in the school that promote inclusive practice. This include collaborative planning and problem-solving activities as well as curriculum adaptation and modification. So, by seeing these three components, first one is collaborative teaching, second one is techniques and strategy, and then collaborative experiences, we can develop the capacity of the teachers. Another one aspect is concept of assistive technology. Here, it is needed to learn the assistive technology, that is AT, is any tool that helps students with disability to do things more quickly, easily or independently. आसानी से किया जा सकता है, स्वतंत्र रूप से किया जाता है अगर विद्यार्थी असिस्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से यूज करे तो. It can be elaborative and expensive or simple and low cost. Assistive technology serves are supports for using assistive technology device such as assistive technology evaluation, equipment maintenance, technical assistance, demonstration or training. For students with disability that interfere with their communication, learning, social relationship or active preparation. Assistive technology support their participation in learning experiences in the least restrictive environment. So assistive technology can be the lifeline that increases students' opportunity for education, social interaction and meaningful employment. So we can conclude here this topic. We can say that the success of inclusive education in any concept depends upon many factors. अगर बात करें तो सक्सेस बहुत सारे फैक्टर पे काम करता है. Teachers themselves are the essential component to ensure the quality of students' inclusion in the school environment. Teachers have direct interaction with the student and play a critical role in determining student experiences in the classroom on the daily basis. Special attention must be paid to ensure that classroom teachers have the skills and support needed to provide quality education to children with diverse learning needs. This requires the collaboration of classroom teacher, key teacher, school principal, education officials, and policy maker. So, preparing teacher with essential knowledge and skill for inclusive education also require the commitment of all teachers. When desired policies are not yet in place in a country, these teachers should explore different and alternative approach to achieve the ultimate goal of providing quality education for all children. Preparing teacher doesn't simply mean providing prospective teacher with inclusive education skill. It is important to provide training and support for existing teacher as well. हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? तो टीचर प्रिपेयरिंग का मतलब ये नहीं है कि केवल प्रोस्पेक्टिव टीचर्स प्रोवाइड कर देना. इट इज क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है? तो उसको ट्रेनिंग और सपोर्ट की भी आवश्यकता पड़ती है. So building the capacity for inclusive education must include awareness raising activities as well as integrated pre-service and in-service training program to ensure that teachers are aware, ready and willing to bring inclusive education into action. Preparing teachers at the pre-service level to teach in inclusive setting is essential if our school are to truly teach all the students in inclusive, collaborative and diverse setting. So we can say that it is not an easy task to develop capacity building of teacher for inclusive education. We have to follow these certain principles, these certain objectives. Then we can develop the capacity building of a teacher for inclusive education. I hope so you will understand the concept which we have discussed today. If you have any doubt, you can ask me on WhatsApp. Thank you for patiently listening all these points and views. Thank you everybody.